Okay, everybody, welcome back. It's your boy D. We'll be back for another one. I'm gonna start off by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is never financial advice. Don't take it as that. Take it for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you're wondering where I've been busy at work. I said that in my last video that I was just gonna have a hectic weekend with the Super Bowl. I've been working, so if you've just been wondering where I'm at, I've been working and I needed a couple of recovery days, all right, to catch up. But today, I think there is some things that we need to talk about. It's a crucial time right now for AMC. So in this video, we're going to talk about the threshold list, the cost to borrow with AMC, kind of what I see happening up until the vote. And I'm not here to tell you how to vote. I'm just here to give you my opinion, my, perspective. And, you can vote however you want. I'm just going to present some things that you need to take into consideration when you're making your decision and whatnot. And then we're going to talk about what's the other thing? Yeah, so the cost to borrow, the vote, and then the threshold list, basically, right? So yeah, that's all I really got. In this video, it's going to be easy, sweet, quick. I want to just kind of give you some facts, some information, and then just get out of here, okay? But to me, there is a pretty much a deadline now, since we are so against each other right now with the vote. I don't see the same amount of people that are holding right now, holding on the other side. And in my opinion, Adam Aaron is just, trying to turn everybody into long-term shareholders, especially from the more recent videos that I've seen in him speaking, like in Phoenix and whatnot. I think that he's not for a squeeze. He doesn't seem to care about that at all. He just seems to care about, of course, the company fundamentally, but, personally, I got into this to make money, to make, to be involved in a short squeeze. And we haven't, had a short squeeze. But we can. I'm not saying it can't happen. It could definitely happen before the vote, or at least a huge run, some kind of pop. That's what I'm looking at. So let's just jump into the information that I got to show y'all. All right, guys. Let's start off with this. I drew up some notes here. So talking about kind of like the last of AMC, what's going on right now. Like I said, I think people are going to, especially those that are on no vote, right? I think they're going to say, forget this, I'm out. We'll see what happens though, but just there is a lot of no votes, there is a lot of yes votes, there's a lot of controversy and whatnot. But here we go. This is what I'm looking at. So the vote is March 14th, which to me is the deadline. AMC has been on the threshold list for 9 days because it's the trading days. Okay, it's not the whole like 13 days thing. It starts, day one starts when it gets on the list officially. Now it does have to go through about 5 days of high FTDs of failure to delivers in order to get on the list. Okay, so a lot of people confuse those 5 days. They like to add it, but it's officially trading days. Okay, so today, if it is, which according to Ortex it still is on the threshold list, but the list only gets updated every night, 8 p.m. my time here in Arizona, 10 p.m. Eastern. So it only gets updated once a day, so we can't check until that point today. But I'm pretty sure it's still on there. According to our text, it's showing it on there. So the 13th day is February 21st. And I'm not giving you these dates to hype you up to say the squeeze is going to happen on this day or that day. These are just the dates of the 13th day that it would be on the threshold list, and the T plus 35, right? The T plus 35 would be March 10th, right? So keep that into, take that into consideration, because it's 35 calendar days, not trading days, right? And then for the 13th day, it's only, every day that's on the threshold list, it's only trading days. And then we go down here. The earnings report is on February 28th. So I'm definitely going to be, holding until then. At least I want to see what's going on with that, because now there's been a lot of transactions, right, with deals of, Adam Aaron and AMC have been able to pay off a lot of AMC's debt, or some of it at least, right? And so he always said fourth quarter, Q4. So I definitely want to see what's going on up until that point. But like I said, I'm trying to make my decision on what to do with my position here soon. Not telling you what to do. I'm just saying I might have to reposition, going forward here, especially if we see a big run, because I'm not for the 10-to-1 reverse split, to be honest. So I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. And if you guys want to continue to hold, that's good. It's all up to you, right? It's your finances, your money. Make your own decision. So now I'm going to talk about the threshold list, because AMC is on the threshold list and it has been before, right? So I've done this before. I've made videos in the past. I really dug into what's going on with the threshold list. So it takes 5 consecutive days of problems, 13 trading days, right? It's more for the regulators, not for the public, because it can be indicative of naked short selling, you know. September 19th. Okay, so that's just old stuff. But I did this research back when I was looking into APE and what happened when it was on the threshold list, and I believe it was on the threshold list for like 9 days, but also GME. So I went back and I grabbed this information and I just, you know, moved it over here because there's some things that I want to point out. So on the threshold list, right, this was on December 17, 2020, and it was on the threshold list all the way until December 28th, 2020, and the T plus 35 was 121.21. And remember, you know, that was the week 122 to 127 is when it had the huge pop and the squeeze, the first one. Okay, so that was AMC. Next, we had GME that was on the threshold list from December 8th, 2020 until February 3rd, 2021. T plus 35 was 112, and the price started running from January 13, 21 all the way until January 28th, 21. So, you know, this one, it took some days, right? After, because it was on the threshold list, it squeezed after. For GME, it squeezed during. So it was on the threshold list for a long time because it just needs to go, it needs to meet that criteria, okay, in order to stay on the threshold list. But once it doesn't meet that criteria, it gets removed from the list. And now this is the third time that AMC is on the threshold list. So we're looking at February 2nd, 23 was when it got on, and we have to wait and see, you know, until when it comes off. You know, it's still on there as far as I know. And tonight we get the update. So T plus 35 would be March 10th. And my thing is, right, will AMC run before March 13th, on March 13th, March 14th, right after March 13th? That's the big question right now, because GME ran while it was on the threshold list. AMC ran after it was on the threshold list. Okay, so as far as the vote, guys, you know, just like I said, I'm looking for a run-up window from now until March 14th. Understand what your yes vote means. So just a couple of points. The first thing is you lose 90% of your shares. So if you have 1,000 shares, you would only have 100 shares after. The next, number 2, new all-time high would be 720 per share, right? So because the all-time high was $72, they're going to, you know, reverse that too. And now the all-time high would be $720, which I think is a downside because what retail investors are going to be paying $700 for one share, right? To even put some more buying pressure on there. And then number 3, so after, you know, the same thing with like the price target. So with the current shares, if it would go to $100, right, you would be making a bigger profit. After the reverse split, you know, instead of $100 per share, you would need it to go to $1,000 per share in order to get the same like ratio, right, for profits. So those are just a lot of things that I don't like about the proposal, the reverse split. I also don't like how they, you know, said that you have to vote either all yes or all no, because at first I was willing to vote, you know, yes, no, yes, but now I have to vote all no. Okay, so there's that. That's the information I got for that. And let's go into the internet and the charts. So like I said here, I'll show you 6 hours ago we had the Ortix data, and right here, like I said, it's still saying that it's on the threshold list. The cost to borrow max 705%, cost to borrow average 415%, and the minimum 1%, which is a very weird you know, ratio, and the fact that it's so wide, right? So there's that. I wanted to give you guys that update as well. So my thing is, like, if this thing is rising, right, the cost to borrow fee, I don't see how we make it all the way until the vote. Because if this continues, right, it could definitely hurt the short sellers, and it could start a move. And the options chain this week is pretty loaded too. That could cause some gamma. So there's that, guys. Let's go back over here. So the SPY, I did like how the movement of the SPY is right now. It's pretty, you know, bullish. It's on an uptrend here, and we got this cross as the daily chart. We got the cross right here. So this is the EMAs, right? They're saying that there's more upside here coming up. So to me, the next resistance point would be around 427. And I believe if the SPY starts to rip and brings up the whole market, you know, it could help bring more buying pressure to AMC. And here's what I got going on my chart for AMC. So last time I made the video, we were in these two flags and it broke way down. We lost the super trend, right? So I was thinking we were going to get a bounce here and start reversing, but it actually started moving lower. And then today was a nice big green candle. So that's, you know, bullish at the same time bearish though, because this needs to flip, right? Until we reverse and we get back into this channel that we were in here. We still have a red super trend, so that's saying that we could see more downside. So let me take off, or let me show you the 4 hour here. On the 4 hour, we did flip, so it's saying it's gonna go green, so we can come back to test this area, right? Hopefully by Friday, I would say above $6-7 would be looking pretty bullish, pretty good to me. On the daily again, I'm gonna zoom out. I think, you know, we are out of this macro trend line here, and that's why we saw this bounce here that's right on top of it, and we should be able to start making our way up, especially like I said, with the threshold list thing, with the cost to borrow fee rising like crazy. I think as we get closer to the vote, the cost to borrow will keep going up, because why would the big lenders, you know, the people who have been lending the shares, why would they want to lend them out prior to the conversion? I don't see why they would. And so hopefully we can come back the next few days, right, and come meet this. My target was here when I wanted to see this test, but it didn't quite touch it. But we could definitely reverse, right, and start coming back up here. So that's all. You know, the main point is the threshold list right now, what I'm looking at, the vote that's coming up, and the cost to borrow fee, okay? Because it's interesting that, you know, there's no shares. Oh, and again here, so, you know, 22%, right, short interest, 118 million shares borrowed right now, short interest. So it's actually been rising, so more shorts have been adding to their positions. Then we go here, the FTDs. This is why we were on the threshold list. We got the new FTD data, and it's because there is a lot of FTDs that accumulated, right, that are going on right now with AMC. So that's how, you know, I already knew, I didn't know we were going to get this today, but I was going to say in the video that I've already knew these were going to be extremely high because we're on the threshold list. So that's that. We got, again, the fails to deliver, just what I was looking at here on this chart. This is right here since December 2020 till now. And if you notice, right, as the FTDs rise and we start to have more problems with them, the same action is happening here. See how you had this big pop and then you come back down, they're starting to rise again. Well, that's what happened before the big run, right? So I'm expecting, honestly, right, just in my opinion, that we would see a run before the vote. And then we'll have to check the threshold list, but it is here yesterday on the 14th. And cost to borrow fees rising everywhere. Webull today was showing 576%. And the last thing here is that, you know, even though it is on the threshold list, it doesn't mean that it's going to squeeze the 14th day, because as we can see here, Overstock, despite the requirement that a clearing broker dealer must close out a failed to deliver position in a threshold security that has persisted for 13 consecutive trading days, Overstock has been on the regulation show threshold list for 600 consecutive trading days. That's a total of 706 trading days. So again, this is from an old article. This is from 2007, but Overstock did squeeze, but it was on the threshold list for a very long time, right? And apparently the SEC is not serious about enforcing the closeout provisions of regulation show or stopping market manipulation that is clearly violative of the federal securities laws, said Overstock Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Patrick Bryan. All right. So see, the problems are old. They're not new problems. According to this, right, there was abuse, you know, alleged abuse that had been going on since December 13, 2007. And the proxy is out. I suggest you go read it. It's pretty long. It's a lot of pages. I'm not really going to go through it, but there is a link on Adam Aaron's Twitter that you can click and go read this if you want to read it. There's a lot of information in that. So that's all I really got for you guys today. Thanks again for coming by. Appreciate you checking out the video, and I hope to catch you in the next one.